Hello, thank you for your accommodation to be here to spend some minutes explaining what we are doing. So I want to start with this. So because in many cases we are a digital company, no? So in many cases, digital companies tend to put technology first. So I would like to start more with the challenges, because technology is just a way to meet these challenges. So in our understanding in sustainability, and specifically in tourism, in sustainable tourism, there is, of course, an environmental pressure. There is a goal, a very challenging goal. But in our opinion, I think that what is behind is a lack of information, lack of good information. So information in terms of granular information, objective information, real-time information. So this lack of information, I will say that is preventing of acting well, of taking the good decisions. So this is why we think that digitizing the whole value chain is critical to meet these business goals, I would say. So what is happening today in digital world is what I will say, it's like a perfect storm of technologies and many things happening at the same time. That is a combinatory effect that is quite powerful. For example, in the field of sensors, I don't know if you are aware that it's almost free. So it's we're having sensors that cost less than $1, and so we can put everywhere this sensor. Those sensors also consume a very small quantity of energy and are able to learn and to read many variables. So practically, we could put sensors everywhere. So we can collect a lot of raw data, and this can be done almost cheaply, almost for free. But the second technology that comes through the field and is also very important, it is what is happening in the networks. 5G, most of you are familiar with that. So what's called low power WAN is able also to move an incredible amount of data with very low latency and also consume very low energy. So the maintenance of these sensors, of these devices, is quite low. So it's also very important. If we put sensors that cheap, but we are not able to move all this data, so it's useless. But also in the other side of the pipe, I would say, in what is in the server side, I would say, we have several technologies that are really important. First is cloud. Cloud is not because it is in the cloud. It is because it is very flexible. It's a technology that allows us to grow very quickly and also to adapt to the challenging needs. But the technologies that are there, so artificial intelligence, all big data techniques, analytics, and so allow us to transform this incredible amount of raw data into actionable information. And that's the material that we put back in the reality, in the physical world, I would say. So we have also actuators. We have people with the smartphones that want to receive contextual and personalized messages. So we have a digitalization of the whole cycle of information that I think that allow us to go further. Of course, how to implement this is different in a high-income country that in a more developing country, because the needs and the challenges are a bit different as well. So in Europe, for example, there is a regulatory pressure for 2030 for the goals that the European Commission put in place, but also the pressure comes from the population, and that pressure cannot be addressed very easily, and there is no plan to do that. So we need to change also the methodology. That's why lean startup and data-driven techniques come in place. So we have data, but now we need to change the way of we do the smart cities. Smart cities typically has been addressed in Europe through projects with a clear goal, a clear budget. It's a long-term project. This approach is quite difficult to address sustainability and on all the smart city world. In terms of communication to the citizens as well, what we learn from the EcoInvest project that I'm going to explain later is that plain communication is not enough. So we need to go more to the person. So we need to contextualize, to personalize information if we want to change the habits. So it's not just commercials on the TV are not enough. We need to go further, and also digital technology is there to do that. For the rest of the countries, what we see is that there is a balance between the needs coming from the tourism that requires new infrastructure, and also from the local population that requires more infrastructure. So there are limited resources to do many things. Also, within that, we need to address the challenge, the digital challenge from the different perspectives. We need to share infrastructure. So project by project is almost impossible. So what we suggest is promoting digital platforms that can serve many countries, many cities, many locations, because basically two things. One is that they can share the cost, but also this enables a collaborative space. So you can learn in one place, and you can transport this learning from one place to another. So this is what we call the digital ecosystem that is very important for us. And I think that also there is a role for WTO here, because the mission that you have to identify the best practice and promote best practice, this knowledge, needs also a common digital playground. So I think that basically all of us will be in this field, in the digital ecosystem. And this is exactly what we did in Spain with EcoInvest for waste management. So we are developing and we are deploying next year smart waste to whole Spain. So it's more than 27 million people, more than 8,000 municipalities, and is covering the whole value chain of the waste management. Also covers all the recycles, regional authorities, and also the national authorities. I don't know if you are aware who is EcoInvest. EcoInvest is the EPR manager. So basically, they are managing 0.5 billion a year that they are collecting from the companies that are putting bottles in the market, and also paper. And with this 0.5 billion, they subsidize the local municipalities to cover the extra cost of the separate management of waste. Okay, so once we have Spain, what we are doing now is scaling to Europe, I will say. So it's quite aligned because the regulation is the same to other countries. So there are some common organizations as ESPRA, that is 27 countries there. And also we are supporting now the operators, the companies that are running the services, the collection, the plants, and so, and another organization, another organization. So that's what we have. I will put two messages here. One is the ecosystem that you see here. So it's one place for everybody. So for all the municipalities, and here are not only Madrid or Barcelona, but even the smallest. So it's quite important. So we're democratizing the technology, so giving access to municipalities that have hundreds of people there, that of course they cannot afford a project, they cannot afford a traditional smart city approach, and they are there. And we are serving not only the citizens, but also the managers and the politicians. So the same data are being populated to all the stakeholders, of course, with different meanings. For the manager in the municipality, it's around controlling the local operator and see the SLA, but for the politician is to see to what extent they are matching more the political goals. Of course, we are covering the producers because they are who are funding the project, service operators, so all the collection processes and plans, all the bins, the inventory bins, the routes, all the, let's say, operating information is there. So we are putting, for example, there, route optimization. That is not accessible sometimes to all the operators, so it is there. It is in the platform. All of them can use it. And also, with this also not trivial, we are involving the SMEs, the startup, small companies that can put their systems, algorithms, or data into the ecosystem. So basically, we're covering all the stakeholders, regardless of the level of maturity. And also, we are covering the whole information chain. IoT, so from the sensor to the cloud and coming back to the stakeholders with this style, I would say, intelligence. I have a short video, and that.
We believe that the digital city should aspire to become an ecosystem of services designed by and for the citizen. It should be capable of reallocating resources according to the people's changing needs and circumstances, a fundamental approach to the concept of circular economy. Minsait and EcoMBS introducing smart waste in response to present and future challenges of waste management. An open and collaborative platform that combines multiple sources of information to enable an impact-driven decision-making and which favours an ecosystem that encourages the ongoing learning by all stakeholders. Smart waste helps local communities to achieve a more efficient management of waste, regardless of their digital maturity level. Control and optimization of services gives technology a new understanding on how to deliver services more efficiently and adapted to the needs of citizens. Performance monitoring enables the user to establish collective intelligence scenarios, predict demand, and anticipate the actions that the different stakeholders need to take. Perception and communication connects with citizens, involving them in the transition to a circular economy of their local community. Vision of the city combines the business and the day-to-day socio-economic information of the city to generate new insights and improve decision-making. Smart waste, building more sustainable communities.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.